This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 8, and verse 20. It reads, "To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them." Shalom Akim. Kohalayim La, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Wakaha Kudash, Shabbat Shalom. This is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, coming with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord willing, this be edifying to the Lord's elect. I want to give double honors unto my apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and who teach well. I want to say shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations. But your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all, Barakathum. All right, so pretty much the name of this lesson is going to be who can lay charge to the Lord's elect. All right, and the inspiration for this lesson came from another vision that my beloved Akwath had shared with me. You know what I'm saying? And I found it very very important to touch on it because this is just another confirmation that the Spirit is moving. Because when I listened to her vision that she shared, right before I listened to it, I had did that lesson at the camp, where I was explaining pretty much that the famine of the word is on its way. The famine of the word is coming. There's also a couple videos that I had watched, all right, before doing this lesson, where the one of the beloved brothers from Chicago, was getting into the importance of doing this work, and not taking your hand off the plow, not being a sluggard in this thing, you see what I'm saying, because we're too close to the end, to lose sight of the goal, and to run out of steam, man. You don't want to do that, you see what I'm saying, now that we can clearly see the finish line, you see what I'm saying. Then I saw another video from a beloved brother that I just shared his video on YouTube in my community post. Let me see if I can get that video for you real quick. All right, bear with me. All right. So this first video that I was listening to came from the beloved brother. His YouTube channel is GMS Bear Witness of the Light 444. Okay, that's the name of it. That's the name of the lesson. Response: a message to Akim. Take heed to the lesson. GMS Shapatyam. All right, so you can watch that video. Subscribe and be edified. And this is the other video that I shared. All right, bear with me. All right. This beloved brother here, okay, the name of the lesson is Understand Your Why in This Truth, okay? His channel is GMS Punish the Wicked. Also subscribe and be edified, man. You know what I'm saying? And literally, that's the Spirit moving, letting it be known that the time of this truth, the time of this ministry is coming to a close. Right? And so with that, I want to get into this this vision that the beloved Akwath has shared with me. All right, so let me go back. Bear with me. Okay. So in this vision that she shared, she said that she was with the Lord. All right, she was with the Lord Yahweh Shai, and they were having a conversation. Right, and then he placed her inside of a courtroom. Okay, he placed her inside of a courtroom, and in this courtroom, she was listening to a conversation that was being held between two judges. All right, one was sitting, she said, one was sitting, and one was standing. The one who was standing was very angry and he was very furious. All right, he told the sitting judge, "Listen to me. You can't let these guys get away. You can't let them continue to call on that name, all right, being Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Then you must apprehend them." Okay? So the standing judge, she explained that the standing judge had looked like he looked to be an older man, a senior old man, you know what I'm saying? While the one judge that was sitting down was a rather young man, you know what I'm saying? He was much younger. Okay? And the dispute was due to the fact that they weren't able to place any charges on the men who were calling on the name of the Lord. She then left from the courtroom. In the vision, she left from the courtroom and she greeted the brothers who were standing outside of the court. Okay, outside the courthouse. She said one of them was leaning on the bench and the others were standing. All right. The Spirit had her ask the brothers if they were from IURC, and the men replied no. So she stated that she follows GMS and that her brother is a fellow prophet amongst the brotherhood who labors in this work. All right, to which they also confirmed that they themselves were amongst GMS. All right, and she told me that what she noticed was that the garment that she had on was matching their garments, which pretty much they had a navy blue garment, all right, down to the feet with stripes along the side, one of which was red stripe. And hers was the same pattern, except she said she had a long sleeve blouse with a long skirt. Right? And she said pretty much the vision ended when they just they walked away together. You know what I'm saying? All of them walked away from the courthouse. So, I found that to be very highly spiritual, okay? And very prophetic, because all of this is going into the scriptures, man. Right? So, I'm pretty much just gonna get a couple of a couple of precepts that came to mind as I was listening to her vision. You know what I'm saying? I want to get this started with the book of, let's see, let's go to the book of Job, because one of the things that I thought that was very interesting that I pointed out, or excuse me, the Spirit pointed out from that vision. What was interesting was the fact that there were two judges, right? Two judges. And one judge was older and the other one was younger. So clearly there's a duality here. You know what I'm saying? One is old and the other one is young. So this precept came to mind because the older one was trying to convict the brothers. You know what I'm saying? But the younger one, all right, the younger one was saying, no, we can't bring any charges to him. You know what I'm saying? Let him go. So this brought me to Job chapter 20. All right, Job chapter 20 and verse 10. It reads, All right. It reads, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. Okay? His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. You see what I'm saying? So the older judge represents, you know what I'm saying, the time of, Jim Crow, the time of the good old boys and all that stuff that was going down, you know what I'm saying, in the height of his power. Well, what you're seeing right now that's playing out is that the children, all right, don't want anything to do with their fathers. You see what I'm saying? They don't want anything to do with the pains of the past. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to. They don't want to have anything to be attached to to the glory of their forefathers. You see what I'm saying? So this brings me to my next precept in Sirach. All right. Okay, this is Sirach chapter 41. And let me start at verse... Sirach chapter 41, let's start at verse 5. All right? It says, the children of sinners are abominable children, and they that are conversant in the dwelling of the ungodly. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach. The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. See what I'm saying? So the younger judge is arguing with the older judge. Okay? The older judge is trying to do away with Jacob. The younger judge is like, we can't do anything about this because they're not wrong. You see what I'm saying? They're not wrong in this. As a matter of fact, to this point, let me show you a quick video, all right, to help edify. All right, so bear with me real quick.
You know, as a white man, I don't understand what's so hard for so many white people to understand that it's always been the white man. It was the white man in the Atlantic slave trade. It was the white man who committed genocide to the indigenous people here. It was the white man who killed millions and millions of people in the Holocaust. It was the white man who massacred millions of people in Congo. It was the white man in the frontier wars in Australia who massacred Aboriginous Australians. It was the white man whose government forced the natives to relocate, causing thousands to die on the Trail of Tears. It was the white man in the Philippines who massacred thousands of civilians. What is so hard to accept about that? Because today, it's the white man and the white supremacist marching around D.C. It's the white man lying about a group of Haitians who hurt no one. They go to work and go home. It's the white man dressed in ICE outfits, murdering immigrants, murdering citizens. It's always been the white man. And yet, you think and walk around this country like it's undocumented immigrants. All of a sudden, that's the problem. Undocumented immigrants committed 17 murders out of over 17,000. But that's the problem. And yet, when one of those 17 get murdered, our fucking white government will go as far as to pass a bill and name it after the person that got murdered and forget about the thousands of minorities to get murdered. That doesn't matter. It's whatever fits the white narrative. And you people are so stupid, you follow it. You're so ignorant that you don't want to change. It's always been the white man. And it's the white man today.
There you go. There you go. All right. So that little video proves that there is a division amongst these Edomites. There's a division amongst them. Because the younger generation can clearly see the problem. And it's not Jacob. It's not Jacob. You see what I'm saying? The older generation holds on to the narrative that they have pushed. You see what I'm saying? So this is where you get those two judges, right? Those two judges that are at odds with each other. You see what I'm saying? On behalf of Jacob. Okay? And specifically, the ones that are out here who are teaching this truth. Okay? The ones that are out here moving in the testimony of Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy. Okay? The prophets who are telling the truth about them on the matter. You see? They're at odds with each other. Because this you know, the newer generation can clearly see the writing on the wall. They can clearly see what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? And this is where you get Matthew the 12th chapter. You know what I'm saying? How can Satan cast out Satan? Okay? Let's get that real quick. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. You see what I'm saying? Every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then shall his kingdom stand? And we're in the midst. All right, we are in the midst of the fall of this kingdom. Okay? So no one can lay the blame to the men of the Lord who are out here telling the truth, because they're able to see it for themselves in real time. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. See what I'm saying? There is no more pride in being, you know what I'm saying, in being the good old US of A. There's no more pride in being so-called white. You see what I'm saying? There's no more pride in that. You see, because now the people are able to see what's really going on. It's to the point, all right, it's to the point where Donald Trump is sitting here talking about there has to be labels outside of Smithsonian Institute warning that the things contained within these museums may not be true. You see what I'm saying? When they know damn well this is true. The things that have been documented, they're true. They're true. But they're trying to escape this shameful spewing, man. They're trying to wipe the slate clean. This is what a fugitive does. You see what I'm saying? This is what an unrighteous judge does. So I found that interesting that it was two judges. One was old, the other was young. You see what I'm saying? One is trying to lay blame and charge to the men of the Lord, and the other is not. You see what I'm saying? Let's go to the book of Psalms. See what I'm saying? This is why I started off with Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20, to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it's because there's no light in them, man. You see what I'm saying? And there is no light amongst these Edomites. You know what I'm saying? The youth are trying to make things right because they're being reproached for the sake of their forefathers. All right? But it's too late, man. It's too late. The judgment is coming either way. This is Psalms chapter 98 and verse 9. It says, "Before the Lord Yahweh, for he cometh to judge the earth. With righteousness shall he judge the world, and the people with equity." The whole world can clearly see that these Edomites have not ruled in equity. They have not ruled in righteousness. You see what I'm saying? United Nations just held a vote to where the overwhelming majority of the planet can agree that what was done to Jacob was the most atrocious and heinous act against humanity that has ever been committed. And who were the ones who disagreed with that sentiment? It was Esau Edom. You see what I'm saying? So, the Lord is coming with righteousness and equity, because you devils have not done so. You're not righteous judge. You're not a righteous judge, man. You're not. You're of no profit to this world. You see what I'm saying? You're not profitable. You cause nothing but pain. You see what I'm saying? Let's go to the book of Proverbs. All right, this is Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." You see what I'm saying? The righteous judge is not in position of power. The wicked judge is. You see what I'm saying? These Edomites are wicked. All right? But under the house of Jacob shall righteous flourish. Right now, the people are mourning. Right now, the people are on TikTok and Instagram complaining that they can't afford to live. You see what I'm saying? Now you got these jokers that's guzzling up all this water. You see what I'm saying? Taking all this water. And what are they doing? They're not giving it to the people. They're hoarding it for themselves. This is not righteous rulership. As a matter of fact, see if I got it. Let's get another video real quick. Bear with me. All right. So I'm going to share with you two more videos. Okay. And this shows you just how wicked these devils are. Okay. So you can't lay blame to the Lord's elect. You can't lay blame to these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, Hispanics, Seminole Indians. You can't do so. You can't do so. You can't do it. You see what I'm saying? This is what happens when the wicked are in rulership.
We have been deceived, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. So we have a 3.5 acre surface area pond here. It's about 25 foot deep. We dug this hole and we used the material that was here to build our homestead up to keep it out of the flood zone. And when we first turned off the pumps and the water started filling up this hole, it was red clay and sand. When the water came in, it was just red water that had no oxygen and could not support life. So I went to the local slough and I grabbed a bunch of water hyacinth, knowing that this plant is a filter feeder, right? It filters the water. That's a filter right there. And we threw the water hyacinth in, and a bunch of people started yelling at me saying, Jim, this is an invasive plant and it will destroy your pond. I said, I will take responsibility for that. Let's see what happens. Within 18 months, the water hyacinth had covered about 20% of the pond. It grew thousands and thousands of times its original mass. Like, it started with that, and pretty soon it covered about an acre of this pond. I then actually noticed that the water was more clear than it had been, like a lot more clear. And I noticed that there was some life in the pond. So we took the water hyacinth from the sides and we stacked it. It was almost a foot deep in some places along the edge of the pond. And as it decomposed, it created soil, which is now the foundation of a lot of these plants here. And here's the best part. What we left in the pond was probably 1,000 times more than what I originally started with, one little patch. And instead of continuing to grow, it actually died back. Why? Because it did its job. It cleaned the pond. Now, the poison producers would like you to believe that if you don't spray poisons on them, on this water hyacinth, this plant, that it is going to destroy everything. The act of spraying poisons on the plant kills the plant, and then as it decomposes, those particulates go into the water, which creates the need for water hyacinth to come back in and clean the pond. So killing, spraying, vaccinating, using chemicals for profit, patented chemicals on anything is the exact opposite of what we need to be doing. It's time to observe and interact and be the stewards of our land again, and let the dandelions grow. Let the water hyacinth do its job, and then use that resource to build soil and build health back into the system.
You see what I'm saying? And this is not medical information. You know what I'm saying? Fair use, man. I declare fair use under the Copyright Act of 1976. All right, but you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. You see what I'm saying? And the wicked is bearing rule. That's why the people are mourning. You see what I'm saying? But under the righteous laws, under everything that the Lord has already set out, this was going to be the norm. This was made to be the norm. All right, when the Lord created everything through his through the beloved Son, our Lord Yahweh Shai, and the first fruits, the Alahayim, you see what I'm saying? The 144,000. What he created was meant to be good. Everything that he placed, it was good. Everything, all you have natural water filtration systems. You see what I'm saying? When you have the oysters, when you have the clams, when you have the shellfish, the crabs, the lobsters, the shrimp, so on and so forth. All right, what are these things doing? They're meant to filter the water. They're meant to clean all the toxins. They're meant to do all of these things. They're not meant to be eaten. This is why Lamentations, the 11th chapter, tells you all of these things. You're not supposed to eat these things. They're supposed to do what they're supposed to do. They're not a delicacy. You see what I'm saying? When you look at the pork, you look at the swine, you look at the vulture, you look at the crows, you look at all these different animals, okay, that are unclean for you to eat. The reason why is because they're meant to do their own job. If you take them out of their habitat and what they're supposed to do, it destroys the land. It destroys the water. It destroys the air, the ecosystem. Everything is off balance. Let's get that real quick. Let's go to Let's go to the book of Psalms. I know this is pretty much turning into another lesson, but you know what I'm saying? There's lessons within lessons, man. All right. Psalms chapter 82 and verse 4. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. You see what I'm saying? These devils don't know, and they don't understand the Lord's creation. They don't understand the importance for all these things being in their proper place. As my dad once told me, all right, he taught me this foundational principle. He said there's a place for everything, and everything in its place. You see what I'm saying? And when you take something out of place, this is what happens. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. All the foundations of the earth are out of course due to these devils, man. You see what I'm saying? Let's go to the next video.
It's getting bad when a farmer said he hasn't seen a single bee nearby since a data center was built. But now it's getting outright dystopian that another Texas farmer claimed every calf since a data center arrived has been stillborn, meaning they have no signs of life. Clayton Tucker, who is running for Texas Agriculture Commissioner, shared the rancher's story at a public meeting. They believe the low-frequency hum and vibration from a nearby energy facility are causing his cows to now sleep by the road. A similar story comes from Bell County, Texas. Fowler Farms reports that since the construction of a $700 million data center within 5 miles of his property, it's emitting constant noise, including low-frequency sound that's audible to animals but not humans. He says this is preventing them from breeding and can cause grown cattle to lose roughly 30% of body weight. The scariest part is the fact that we still don't have any long-term studies on the impact of these EMFs and data centers on animals. But what's become undeniable is the new hyperscaling of data centers is putting real strain on rural land, water, and power systems. Just in Texas, nearly 2 million acres and 20,000 farms have disappeared in just 5 years, with that number growing every single day. It's up to consumers to help put a stop to this. It has to start with
Right. And it's not just the cattle. It's not just the cattle. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing reports. All right, I'm seeing reports where women are having miscarriages after miscarriages after miscarriages due to these data centers, you know what I'm saying, and what they're producing. You see what I'm saying? So this is what life is like underneath the rulership of these devils, man. And the Lord has to bring forth one that is profitable. Let's go to Sirach chapter 10. All right, Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. An unwise king destroyeth his people. An unwise king destroyeth his people. But through the prudence of them which are in the authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. See what I'm saying? And the one that is profitable is Yahweh Shai. He, all right, along with the elect, beginning with the 144,000 headed by King David, is going to bring righteousness and order back into the earth. The throne of David, the tabernacle of David. You see what I'm saying? So let's go to the book of Psalms. Let's go back real quick. All right. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 26. Proverbs chapter 26 and verse... Let's get verse 28. All right, Proverbs 26 and verse 28. It says, a lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin. Okay? So a lying tongue hates those that are afflicted by it, man. You know what I'm saying? And they lie and they deceive, just as that rancher had explained. Okay? They want you to believe that those water filtration plants are an invasive plant and needs to be destroyed. That's what they'll tell you. You see what I'm saying? But everything that the Lord put in his proper order is perfect, and it is good. You see? And here it is, the children of Israel, all right, you sons and daughters of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, okay, you've been placed in this position, all right, being at the bottom when everybody knows, all right, when you have your hand on the land, everything prospers, everything flourishes. You see what I'm saying? What we put our hands to do, it works. What they put their hands to do, it dies. You see? Everybody saw that video of that bison that attacked that old man, that Edomite, and flew him eight feet in the air. You see what I'm saying? Everybody saw that. Not a lot of people talk about what happened with that bison that came in contact with Jake. You see what I'm saying? The bison gave respect to Jacob. You see, the complete opposite had happened. All right. So the Lord is about to bring this back into his proper order. You know what I'm saying? Very soon. And this is why these Edomites are moving the way that they're moving, because they know that they have a short time left. Right? Let's see. Let's get a couple more precepts. I didn't want to make this too long, but yeah, man, that's the spirit. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to the book of let's go to the book of Luke. Okay, this is book of Luke, chapter 21. All right, Luke chapter 21, let's start at verse 12. And it reads, "But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues," all right, to the courthouses in the beloved Aqua's vision, in the Aqua's vision that she shared with me. You know what I'm saying? They were in a courthouse. Okay? These two judges were disputing, all right, about whether or not to put Jacob behind bars. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to be persecuted, you know what I'm saying, on behalf of the names that we call on, Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. You see? So it says, "And they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake." For my name's sake. There's a reason why the Spirit had the Akwath, you know what I'm saying, sister asked the other brothers, she was like, "Are you from IUIC?" And they said no. You see what I'm saying? Because when you look at IUIC, what does IUIC teach against? IUIC teaches against calling on the true names. Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. You see what I'm saying? They teach against that. GMS, all right, is the number one camp that teaches you the true name and teaches you the importance of those names. You see what I'm saying? The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. The name of his Son is Yahweh Shai. To pray to the Father, you pray to him through his Son, Yahweh Shai. So Yahweh, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai. Right? So again, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and in the prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. All right? Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20, to the law and to the testimony. You see what I'm saying? What does it say in the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10? Okay? The testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of what? Of prophecy. Okay? Verse 14. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. You see what I'm saying? This is why those two judges were disputing against each other. You see what I'm saying? Because they could not lay blame. They could not lay the blame. All right? For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsfolk and friends. Are you prepared for that? You see what I'm saying? Are you prepared to be betrayed by your friends and your loved ones? You see? A lot of people are not prepared for that day to come. See what I'm saying? And some of you shall they cause to be put to death, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. See what I'm saying? You got to know what your why is in this truth, man. You got to know why you're in this. Why are you fighting this fight? Why are you running this race? You see what I'm saying? What is it that you're trying to accomplish by staying in this truth, man? You got to know why. Why are you in this thing, man? Because if you don't know why, then you're going to lose your way. And if you lose your way, you're going to fall from the path. You see what I'm saying? The Lord says, seek ye out the straight gate. You see what I'm saying? Go through the straight gate. Because everyone's going to want to go through the broad gate, the broad way. You see what I'm saying? The easy way out. There is no easy way out. There is no easy way out of this. We're going to have to go through it. You see what I'm saying? Acts chapter 14, verse 22. Through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom, man. We're not going to get to this thing without going through it, man. Let's go to Romans. All right, Romans chapter 8. Let's see. All right, Romans chapter 8. Let's start at verse. Romans chapter 8, verse 30. It says, let's read on down. It says, moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. What shall we then say to these things? If the Most High be with us, if he be for us, who can be against us? He that spared not his own son, all right? He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not be with him also freely give us all things? Let me read that again. He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Who shall lay anything to the charge of the Lord's elect? It is the Most High that justifieth. You see what I'm saying? Those two judges could not lay any charge to the Lord's elect. You see what I'm saying? Verse 34. Who is he that condemneth? It is Hamashiach that died. All right, it's Hamashiach that died. Yea, rather that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of the Most High Power, who also maketh intercession for us. You see what I'm saying? We can't get back into this thing without a mediator. Okay? And our mediator is Yahweh Shai. See what I'm saying? And who the Most High is for, no one can be against. You see what I'm saying? This is why we do this work. This is our why. You see what I'm saying? We're hoping for salvation. We're hoping to be justified and then glorified ultimately. You see what I'm saying? This is why we stay in this truth. This is why we fight this fight. We fight the flesh and we renew our spirit day by day. This is why we do it. You see? Verse 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. See what I'm saying? We're accounted as sheep for the slaughter. What does the scripture say? All right. Oh, worm Jacob. We're worms. We're defenseless. All we have is this truth. All we have is the testimony. You see what I'm saying? That's what we have. All we have is the testimony. And that's all we need. You see what I'm saying? Like the apostles say, there's no plan B. There's no plan B. You see what I'm saying? This is plan A through plan Z. That's all we have. It's this truth. You see what I'm saying? Let me close this out. Let's see. Verse 37. Nay, in all these things, we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High, which is in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, our Lord, Adawanya. All right? So, I'm going to cut that there, man. Who can lay charge to his elect? I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. This has been your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto our power, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Wachaha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.